Draft is 4 hours and 12 minutes away, which means it's time for a new definitive segment called Must Draft. It's kind of like Must Win, but it's about drafting. First up, the Jets. Really a question of protection versus weapons. Nick's mock 4.1 has the Jets grabbing Brock Bowers from Georgia. Rich Cimini reporting they might move up to try to grab Neighbors or Doomsday. They might.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Get them another weapon. Brew, do you want to go first here? The Jets must draft who?
Yeah, look, for the last few weeks, I've been getting more protection. In fact, I think on Monday I said protection, protection, protection. But then it dawned on me, it's right there in front of my face. They're all in. Not like Jerry Jones all in. I mean, they're all in. This is it. My quarterback's 40. We got to win it this year, go as far as we can. And when I think about Garrett Wilson and Mike Williams and Breece Hall and Brock Bowers. That is a talented bunch for Aaron Rodgers to throw the football to. So go get Bowers.
Okay.
Man, I hate to agree with Nick, but I looked at this and I thought, okay, what does Aaron Rodgers want? What does he like? And obviously he's going to want a weapon. They brought in 3 offensive linemen. So I went back and if we could pull it up, I looked at what Aaron said about 12 personnel, which is a 2 tight end set. So they've got Tyler Conklin, and this is what he said. I had to go back to 2017, but this gives you balance from an offensive perspective. So from a running game, you can go right, you can go left. It gives you some extra protection options. So there's real value to it. He's liked it historically, so I could see him signing off on that. And then with Nate Hackett, he's been about a 30% 12 guy, which is, again, a 2 tight end set. So there's probably buy-in there as well. And I see that as being probably their best option, seeing that they've addressed some of the offensive line needs here in free agency.
They obviously should draft a tackle because they have aging offensive linemen. And because they're all in on Rodgers, you can't risk your season going to hell because Tyron Smith misses his annual month of the season or whomever else. Where they're drafting, they should be able to take the second tackle off the board in one of the deepest tackle drafts ever. But I would be shocked if they do that. I think if they stay there, they will draft Bowers. And there is a chance they mortgage next year's first because what does Joe Douglas care? Because if it doesn't work out, that's not his problem anyway, to move up to draft Neighbors or Marvin Harrison or a Doomsday. Yeah. I think that's all. I think they are more likely to move up and get a wide receiver than they are to stay and draft a tackle. But Bowers is going to be the pick as mock draft 4.1.
Okay. Head to Dallas, where the Cowboys have the 24th pick. Now, mock draft 4.1 has tackle Graham Barton out of Duke. So, Brew, you're on the clock with the 24th overall pick.
Well, we know they need offensive line help. Absolutely. I know later on, Mike McCarthy, you can get your running back. Olu Fashanu, Penn State. That's what I'm going with.
That's good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that Dallas should probably trade back. If they've got a group of players, this is a pretty deep draft in terms of offensive linemen, centers. We know they need a left tackle. We know they need a center. We know they need a running back, and probably those running backs are more second-round picks than first-round picks. So if you could trade back and you had a block of guys that you liked, then you can go out, get 2 out of those 3 needs as opposed to just the 1. If they do stay there, I like the Barton pick because he's played left tackle, but a lot of people will project him
at center
to play center as well. And so you've got the flexibility to move him around, see where he fits best, and see where the other pieces fit as well.
Coach has been studying mock draft with him.
But I'd much rather they trade back and get 2 picks.
Listen, the reason Barton to me is the pick if he's there is because of the versatility. Like he's played left tackle as coach said, but he projects more interior in the pros. But that could answer your questions depending on how the rest of the draft falls. The funniest thing they could do is draft Michael Penix. And that is also maybe the most interesting thing they could do. If they're not giving Dak the extension, saying, you know what, one last hurrah, but we are going to be covered at that position if this guy who some people think is the 3rd best quarterback in the class, if he gets past the Raiders Coach loves him.
Really?
I think that's
Can Trey Lance throw the football?
I don't know, man.
I mean, can we give Trey Lance a shot? Like, does he even?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Nobody's seen him play. So, but I'm saying
He must
Michael
not be
Penix-
doing anything in scout team.
Well, again, I'm
just because Nick said
just because I said they could draft Michael Penix, we should not be an indictment on Trey Lance. Just because.
Right?
I'd
I'm
like to
like,
see him.
give him a shot.
Something on Instagram would be
I'm
nice.
disappointed
I
I
wanna
have
see
agreed
the-
with Nick twice.
Well, listen,
See the ball
I've
fly
been-
through the air.
I've
What
been
about,
grinding these-
I like Fashanu because he's a left tackle,
Yeah,
period.
that's true. And,
And
he's
that's
one of
why
the
I was
younger
like-
players in the draft, which it projects well.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, I don't know if he'll be there, but yeah.
Okay, finally, Kansas City, home of the reigning Super Bowl champs, at 32. Brew, who do you like for the Chiefs?
Well, look, I mean, they can win kind of no matter what. I'll give them that. But I want to see a light show, Coach. They got a quarter. You have a
last year.
Ferrari.
You said
you
we
have
were
a
wasting
Ferrari.
Mahomes.
Why are you treating him like a Toyota? All right, go get. I thought about Adonai Mitchell
No.
because you have a deep threat in obviously Hollywood. But you know what? Brian Thomas Jr.
He won't, if he's there, they'll take him. He won't be there.
Woo!
Yeah, no, I like him a lot,
6'5",
too.
4'3".
I like him a lot too, but I
Yeah,
don't
go
think,
get
I
him.
don't think he gets past 25. Go ahead.
So they obviously have some issues with a receiver who's on the roster, and that's got to get worked out. And then you bring in Hollywood Brown. He was targeted 101 times last year and only caught 50 balls. So we're not. So and we've seen that movie a little bit in Kansas City.
That's what they
Except
over
those
the
were
last
all,
year.
those were bad throws.
Well, but we have seen it where it's a 50% catch type thing. But let me just share one thing from a draft perspective early on. You look at relationships that people have with organizations in the media, and you try to find the people that have consistently given information that's been validated later on by decision. So that being said, if I was studying Kansas City and had to figure out who they were going to draft, I would look to people who have relationships with the organization, and I would go and say, who does he say they're going to draft? And this is a real thing. You look to find who's talking to who.
Nobody's talking.
And, well, I'm just sharing the approach. So I'm going to say whoever Nick decides to put in the draft, that's what I'm guessing is
You
going
don't
to be
think it could be
position.
misinformation?
I would
Trying-
listen.
If it's misinformation, well, then the reporter's always like, how could you do that to me? You're hurting my credibility. Why would you say that?
So here's the deal.
Negative
So
columns.
why
here's the
would you lie to
problem.
me?
Here's what
I look
Coach
bad.
has it kind of right, but kind of wrong.
No, exactly right.
Coach assumes
I've seen it
that
in the
I
building,
would
and I've
be
seen it on this
taking
side.
information from the Chiefs front office and giving it to you guys. It might just be the other way around. Might just be that the Chiefs front office favorite show to, watch it with bated breath. So let me say this real quick for the Chiefs. They are in the perfect position because they don't have. Listen, Rasheed at worst is going to get 4 games. I think he's going to get a game or 2. They don't have one flashing red light need. So
That
if a
seems like a-
tackle like
that seems like a pretty big
Guyton,
need.
Mims, or Jordan Morgan falls, they'll draft him. As far as the receiver goes, yes, if Brian Thomas there, they'll draft him. I like Ladd McConkey as the receiver. I don't like Adonai Mitchell. I also think they could draft a cornerback if Kool-Aid's there. If he falls, all the way to 32. And then, but if someone like Johnny Newton, the D tackle from Illinois, if he's there, even though that's not a big position of need, they'll take him. They truly can go best player available
Would
at
they
any
trade
spot.
out?
And that's the other thing. If somebody wants the 5th-year option, so if Penix is there and someone's like, man, we like him and we want the 5th-year option, the Chiefs could trade out of that spot. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.